Presenting the homespun wit, the down-to-earth wisdom of Professor Ben Buckley.
I always say that if a job's worth doing, it's worth ignoring. Lust is no excuse for thoughtlessness. I'm a one-woman man and I've had mine, thank God. I had what is known as a drinking problem. I no longer have it.
Let's face it, Ben, you drink every night very heavily.
Exactly. There's no problem.
Alan Bates in Simon Gray's Buckley.
That you and Reg have it off together. All right, let me ask you then. Why you promised not to mention to your best friend, is that presuming, that his wife was being screwed by while contemplating marriage to the most boring man in London?
Buckley, struggling to survive in a dull world, whose life is a series of cutting remarks, whose insights inevitably become insults.
Oh, you really must give up buying cheap socks. I can feel a hole growing round the toe. Do you still make little popping sounds when you drink your coffee?
Simon Gray's smash hit play brought to the screen with all the biting wit, style, and stark reality of its award-winning Broadway and London productions, superbly directed by Harold Pinter.
Buckley is himself again.
Alan Bates in Simon Gray's Buckley.
Another premiere film, uncut, uninterrupted, and only on Home Box Office.
Okay. Chris, how you doing, all right? How many corner kicks did New York have? You got them down for 5 and Chicago for 1.
Jim, stand by for the movie.
Along with Pete Gogolak, and the score at halftime. The New York Cosmos 0 and the Chicago Sting 1. The Sting scoring 28 minutes into the first half on a 22-yard hard right-footed shot by Steve Peplow. Back at Yankee Stadium in New York, we're at halftime. The Chicago Sting leads the New York Cosmos 1-0 on a Steve Peplow goal 28 minutes into the first half. For some of you who did not get last night's results in the league, let me quickly give them to you. Portland defeated St. Louis 3-1. Minnesota beaten by San Antonio's Thunder 2-1, and San Diego surprised a lot of people by going in and beating the previously unbeaten San Jose Earthquake 1-0. Now today, a full slate of games. Boston is at Miami. Hartford, undefeated, is at Toronto. Rochester at Philadelphia. Tampa Bay at Washington. That game will be starting about 5 o'clock. Vancouver is at Seattle. There's a lot of people here today, but and there's also some birds. And right now, some of the New York fans probably feel that's the way New York has played in the first half. I don't agree with that. I think actually Chicago is a little tougher ball club, Pete Gogolak, than maybe some have given them credit for being.
Jim, surprisingly good ball club. The Chicago team is, especially a defensive unit. They have this heavy concentration around the goal area, and the Cosmos, frankly, just cannot penetrate this tight defense. Seems to me 3 or 4 forwards try to attack against 6-7 defenders. And you just cannot do it, Jim, and Cosmos better start playing better soccer.
All right, here's Jimmy Kelly, number 6 for the Chicago Sting. If you're just tuning in, Chicago leads 1-0. The Sting in the white uniforms, or in the yellow uniforms, and the black trunks and black trim. Cosmos in white, trimmed in green. Ball into the area is headed out. Garbutt cannot control it. Lanny Robertson for Chicago can. He's been a bulwark in the middle of the field. Number 13 is alone, but Robertson keeps the ball. Peplo, there's the number 7, but again, there's Chicago moving the ball very smartly. Benny alone, number 13 to Peplo. He turns. He's Kelly now, gets across field here, and Chicago has it again. Eddie Cliff, the fullback. Now Peplo, number 7, his pass intended for Kowalik, but you saw Kowalik slip. Chicago has it, and they give it up again. Benny alone. Now Kowalik has it knocked away by Mifflin. It goes back to Bobby Rigby in the penalty area. That penalty area, by the way, that we've been talking about is 18 yards in width, and it's 44 yards across. Now the pass coming up here to Field. Field's return intended for Tinian was deflected away, and Skodarek, number 15, has the ball for the Chicago Sting. They played on the left to Kelly. Kelly gets it out to the head of the penalty area to Clive Griffiths, who plays it back for his fellow fullback, Johnny Webb, number 3, and Webb clears it out to the midfield line. Look at Chicago controlling the ball.
They sure are, Jim, and I think they're giving a little lesson of ball control and sharp, quick, accurate passes here in the midfield area. They're playing nice soccer.
Eddie Cliff now plays it up here into the penalty area to Dowie, and Rigby gets to it first. Dangerous. John Lowy is trying to take that long ball in the area, and it almost worked for the Chicago Sting. The Sting has won 1 and lost 1. Coming into today's game, they lost to Tampa Bay in their home opener 2-1. Here's Pelé with the ball, and they won 1-0 in overtime in Chicago. And here's Tony Field being knocked off the ball, but Tony still has it. Finally knocked off the ball again, and now played back to Mervyn Costin, the Chicago keeper.
One thing is about Jim, you don't try to dribble too very often. If you dribble and get by one of the defenders, then you better pass. The coach always tells you try to dribble only once and then pass.
Chicago plays it out to Peplo, Steve Peplo, number 7 now, as he comes toward the New York 35-yard line. Plays it out for Lowy, and he's fought off the ball, and we have a foul call, I believe, against Chicago. No, offside. Excuse me, offside against Chicago, so New York puts it in play right away. And Pete Oglak will be telling you about offside in just a moment. Right now, let's pick up the action as Pelé has it knocked away by that tough defense. That was Griffiths, number 4, who gets the ball again. Griffiths coming for the 35-yard line of the New York Cosmos. Looking inside for somebody. Nobody there, so he just plays it back to Peplo. He plays it further back to Eddie Cliff. Cliff making a one-on-one move against Griffiths. Still moving with Griffiths toward the goal line. Griffiths goes down, tackling the ball, and the ball's still in play, and New York controls it. Good play by Griffiths. Now the Cosmos bring it on the attack. Here's Terry Garbutt, midfielder. Playing it back for Keith Eddy, moving on the attack, and this big crowd begins to build.
Oh, yes, great pass.
Here's a shot knocked away. Garbutt trying to get it away. Tinian's shot is knocked toward the sideline, deflected. This ball still in play. Now back to Keith Eddy again at the 35-yard line. To Ramon Mifflin at the 35. Inside for Pelé. Skodarek knocked him down. Pelé has the ball, runs over the ball, plays it for Field, knocked out of there, picked up by Mifflin. There's a shot at the post by Mifflin. There's a header by Field, and it's knocked out to Lammy Robertson. He clears it out to Kowalik, back to Lammy Robertson, and that shot by Mifflin hit the post.
Boy, and the crowd was electrified. I think the Cosmos needed something like that.
Lammy Robertson across the line now, and he's got room as he comes toward the penalty area. Tackled off the ball nicely. And the Cosmos turn it the other way. Ramon Mifflin, and this game has really picked up in intensity. Here come the Cosmos attacking along the left side, the fullback Rowan. He leaves it here now for Field. Back to Mifflin, number 15. Mifflin leaves it for Pelé. They're working outside the 35-yard line. He's being forced back by Benny Alone. Alone's been playing Pelé man for man most of the match and has done a good job. A near it, New York pass goes out of bounds. It'll be a throw-in for Chicago.
Let's see that first shot again here.
That was after it hit the post. That ball in the air had just hit the post. Now we're back to the live action and the throw-in by Chicago. New York
game of inches, just a little bit lower. It could have been a goal.
Here's Kelly, fought off the ball, good tackle by Field. Now Mifflin's shot goes off the side. New York playing with a little more urgency here against this Chicago club. Let's take a look at that shot now by Mifflin. shot we were telling you about. Here's a left-footed shot. Watch this now. Hits the goalpost.
I don't think the goalie had a chance in there, Jim. He was a little helpless in that shot.
Back to the live action, you saw Smith head the ball down. Very strong in the air. Up the field now. The Cosmos moving on the attack. Long over here for Tinian. And intercepted and knocked out of bounds by Johnny Webb, number 3.
And we see the good linesmen over there. In soccer, we have 2 linesmen and a referee. And the linesmen responsibilities are on the touchline.
Into Pele. Back to Tinian to make penetration. Being caught off the ball, and there's going to be a foul. Johnny Webb pushed off on Tinian as he tried to make the move. Now it's a free kick. Just outside the penalty area. We're trying to show you that again. Right here.
See the falling there. See the push right there. You cannot push a player.
All right, here's the shot in the penalty area, knocked out of there. Here's another shot, and it just missed the post. Clements just missed that far post with a hard left-footed shot.
He's got a tremendous leg, and he hit that ball awful hard. Was off target. I thought maybe one of the forwards would come in, probably head the ball or do something, but exciting play. Seems to be the Cosmos come alive again, and the fans just love the game.
All right, ball headed out now around the midfield area. The Cosmos lose possession now. It's picked up by the Chicago Sting. Here's Johnny Kowalik, dangerous little striker on the right. Kowalik crosses into the penalty area. Nobody there, though. Ramon Mifflin now for the Cosmos as the crowd builds. Good crowd here in New York. Long ball for Tinian. Coming into the penalty area, the ball kicked over to Costin. Good defensive play by Clive Griffiths, number 4. Play it back to Costin. And once the goalkeeper's in that 18-yard box, the penalty area, he can handle the ball. Here's a ball that hit off the back of Griffiths' head, and the Cosmos get it back. Here they come again. The New York Cosmos putting a lot of pressure on Chicago here in the second half because Chicago leads 1-0.
Jim, Coach Camp Furphy's looking on, and he looks a little nervous, and I'm sure he's thinking, let's go boys, let's get a score in there. But Chicago is playing tough, and here again they took the ball away from the Cosmos.
Griffith now, the center back and the architect of this defense by Chicago, which is quite a defense. Rigby throws it out now. He got away from Garbutt. Garbutt is held as he tackled the ball to try to keep possession, but now they call no foul. No foul there, and play continues. Here's Chicago moving on the attack again. The Chicago Sting. And a shot, it was attempted, it was really an attempted shot in front of the net. He was looking to get to one of his forwards coming in. But as you saw, it went off the side of his foot. He really miskicked the ball. So we have a goal kick coming up for the Cosmos. 35-27 to play in the game. Chicago leads 1-0. Long upfield, but again, it's Chicago superior in the air as they knock the ball away, and a foul against Chicago. A little bit too aggressive that time. New York puts it in play. Here's Clements now. Here's a pass for Pele. Pele coming through now in the penalty area. Tries to stop the ball, does, plays it in front, and Benny alone makes a good defensive play to take that clearing pass in front and knock it away.
There's nobody there. Pele got it to the open. He tried to cross it in, was nobody there.
Good pass from Pele to Mifflin now outside the box. Plays it in for Tinian. Tinian tries to cross it, but it's deflected off Skodarek, and Chicago clears again. Garbutt now playing 1-for-1. There's a good pass to Lammy Robertson. Chicago's going to break it free. Across the midfield line with 34-33 to play in the match. Chicago leads the Cosmos 1-0 here at Yankee Stadium in New York. Jim Carvelis along with Pete Gogolak with the play-by-play here on Home Box Office. And this is our first soccer game in a series of games that I'm sure you're going to enjoy throughout this 1976 NASL season. Now Chicago moves its forces up. That's the fullback, Eddie Cliff, number 2. Crosses far post again, but nobody there. That's the second time they've done that. Now the fans here want the Cosmos to move on as you hear them encouraging them. crowd, I'd safely say in the 20,000 range. We haven't had the official stats yet. Here's Garbutt making penetration. He's got room. There's a shot by Garbutt that goes wide. Terry Garbutt for about 25 or 2 minutes.
Seems to me, Jim, he just got a piece of ball and he couldn't quite hit it, and the ball went off to the left. But you got to take those shots to score, and I think both teams are trying to do that, and Chicago has been successful once.
And now a whistle blows, and there's going to be a foul against Chicago. Chicago, while up in the air, you'll see this a lot. You'll have a player push off. Same in basketball, under the hoop, and you have players kind of pushing with one hand, pushing the player away so he can't get his timing for a rebound or get up in the air. That's exactly the call that was made here. Now Tinian, long ball to the far post. Pele heads the ball over the top. Pele was at that far post, and his header just got over the top.
Great jumping ability by Pele. There were two defenders around him. Both of those guys were about 3 or 4 inches taller than Pele, and he out-jumped both of them, and he headed to the goal, and it was too high. And the goalie played it well. I think he probably even tipped the ball a little bit.
Keith Eddy brought it under control to Terry Garbutt. Now to Fields on the left. Tony Field taken away. Boy, that Chicago defense is something. Johnny Webb, number 2, made the play.
Jim, they're playing good football.
Peplo back to Webb. Back to Peplo. Hit the open man. Don't rush a thing. And knocked out of bounds by Terry Garbutt.
Did I say football? I think it's a European way to call football. In Europe, they call it football. Of course, in this country, we call it soccer.
By Cosmos now with Tinian moving. Inside, and that pass by Mifflin, that head pass, was intended for Pele, who did not read that pass. He was waiting for Mifflin to do something else. Mifflin was expecting Pele to break for goal. Now Mifflin and Pele played together with Santos of Brazil, so they know each other's moves, and that's one of the reasons that the Cosmos got Mifflin. He runs the midfield for the Cosmos. Keith Eddy runs the back four, and of course Pele runs the front.
Something about the North American soccer, you don't see some players who can stay in this league for the next 2 or 3 years. It's not like a revolving door like used to be. A constant change. You're going to see some...
Mifflin coming inside here. There's a shot to save. Nice shot by Clements. Now crosses for Pele. Save by Costin. What a save by Costin on a Pele header. What a play, and they're up on their feet in New York. Pele now, cross in front, knocked away, intercepted by Benny Alone. He clears it out. Kowalik gets it. Kowalik racing across midfield. Smith is right on his back. Kowalik still with it. He's stopped outside the penalty area. And Smith had a hustle to get back. A shot over the top by Kowalik.
Boy, oh boy, Jim, great action. This is soccer. This is the best of soccer. Back and forth. They moved the ball 130 yards up and down the field in 15
20 seconds unofficially to play in the match. Chicago leads 1-0. Tinian plays it back for Clements. Gets it over to Keith Eddy. He's under pressure right there. Chicago all over the place.
Nifty ball control by Keith Eddy.
All right, here's a return by Mifflin to Pele. Pele comes in the area. Lays it off. Here's a shot over the top. Shot by Mifflin over the top. Boy, Mifflin and Field and Pele really did their thing that time. Watch this move here.
Totally unselfish player. This Pele is, Jim. He could have taken that shot himself, and he passed it to Mifflin because he was in a better position, and Mifflin took a shot, and it was high.
We're seeing some great action here today. There's only been 1 goal scored by Peplo, 28 minutes into the match in the first half for Chicago. Clive Griffiths tries to clear it. Benny Alone had it knocked away, and bringing it down is Tinian, and no whistle blows. Mifflin with the ball to Pele. Pele coming in the penalty area. Here's the shot. Goal! Pele! Unbelievable! He's not too happy. You got to see this crowd. It's on its feet at Yankee Stadium. And there it is. They're going crazy.
That crowd is going crazy. Unbelievable. There he is. He's getting the ball, and he's closely marked. He's weaving through 3 defenders. He takes a bullet shot into the right corner of the net. Tremendous kick.
There he is, the man, the greatest soccer player that ever lived.
Age 35, this guy is playing 90 minutes. Unbelievable.
Pelé has said that he's in better shape this year.
Let's look at it again. He's weaving through 3 defenders, takes a booming shot into the net. Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
All right, Mifflin plays the ball back to Pelé in midfield. Keith Eddy now comes on the attack for the New York Cosmos. They play it out to Tinian on the right. Tinian, now he plays the square to Clemens. Clemens to Garbett outside the area. Cliff is all over number 2. Boy, this Chicago defense is really rough. Now they play the ball through, intending it for Fields, knocked away, but Mifflin gets it back to Fields. Fields coming in the penalty area, is tripped, knocked down, no foul call. Had they called a foul in there on that tripping, it would have been a penalty kick. And now it's knocked over the goal line, last touch by Fields, so Chicago has a goal kick. 26:34 to play. Here's the action in the penalty area, and you see he was not tripped. He actually slipped and fell off the side of the pitcher's mound.
Yes, Jim, you're so right. He wasn't tripped. A little too much dribbling, and I think he got a little tired and he fell down. Again, he shouldn't dribble that much.
All right, here's Mifflin with a dribble. Now a long lead to Pelé in the penalty area. Knocked down and out of there. Skodarek played Pelé very well that time. Skodarek, a big center back, number 15, had to play Pelé in front, and he did it very well. Eddie Cliff, number 2, plays it out on the right. 61:50 is the time of the goal by Pelé. Mifflin got an assist on the Pelé goal. Pelé's 1,241st goal.
Unbelievable. It's like hitting a home run in every game.
It's hard to play in that many games, much less score that many goals.
Right.
Here comes Lammy Robertson for the Chicago Sting. He plays it in front. It's headed out of there, and New York breaks up the Chicago attack. Now to Dave Clemens in the middle of the field. Clemens to the midfield line. Look at the... Comes right toward the goal and bounces over the goal line. Now we have a substitution in the game for Chicago. Number 17 is Miro Reese. Number 17 is Miro Reese in the middle of the field. And the unusual thing about Miro Reese is he's only 18 years old. He's a high school student in the Chicago area, and here he is playing professional soccer, and he scored the only goal in the 2-1 loss to Tampa last week. Here he is, Miro Reese, number 17. Watch him, only 18 years old. And tackled away. Reese still gets it back to Kelly. His shot knocked down beautifully by Keith Eddy. Pelé has the ball now. 2 players go by as he controls it across midfield. Nice pass to Eddy. Back to Eddy on a deflection. Now play it out here to Ramon Mifflin, New York, coming on the attack at the 35-yard line. Watch Ramon coming through 2 players, 3 players. Finally having it knocked away by Benny Alone, number 13. And intercepted by Rowan. And out of Clemens. And it gets it for Rowan, but it's too long, and it's re-intercepted by Chicago. Steve Peplow has it intercepted by New York again. Smith plays it to Mifflin. The Cosmos moving the ball smartly now. Garbett plays it on the right side here. Long ball coming toward Pelé, headed up in the air. Here's a man coming in for a shot. It's deflected off a Chicago player in front, Skodarek. That was Clemens coming in, and Clemens acquires the ball. Now outside the Mifflin 35-yard line. Now it's all New York as they put the pressure on to Tony Field. Field, give and go inside for Tinian. Field has it knocked away by Clyde Griffiths at the last second. Griffiths, number 4 of Chicago, made a fine defensive play. 22:33 to play in the game. And New York now, who just got the equalizing goal by Pelé, is pressing for the go-ahead goal. Long ball in front. Headed away from Pelé nicely by Clyde Griffiths. Very good in the air. Griffiths. Lammy Robertson. Now on the right side for Peplow. Long ball up here for Kowalik, but Smith gets to it first nicely. Smith made the play. Rowan gets it back to Smith.
Smith from Rider College, Jim. He's a Native American. He's playing great soccer. He's a tough kid. he and Bobby Rigby, the two Americans on this Cosmos soccer team.
All right, Pele scooterette on him along with Benny Alone, and Lanny Robertson gets the ball. He's at midfield for the Chicago Sting. Robertson plays on the left to Kelly, number 6. Tinian playing defense and knocked it away, but Chicago, Lammy Robertson again with it. Boy, he's had a lot of the ball, hasn't he, Pete? Good old player.
Sure has.
Now we have a foul in Chicago on Kowalik that time, coming under the defender, Smith.
Jim, an interesting move in soccer is the give and go, just like in basketball. You use one of your teammates to go around the defender, and exactly the same thing as you play in basketball.
Nice ball to Mifflin, back to Pele. But he couldn't control it, and boy, there was some great ball work there as they kept the ball in the air rather than on the ground, but almost got the job done. Smith going with Kowalik. Smith wins it in the air, but Lanny Robertson picks it off for Chicago. He moves on the attack. He has Reese running along with him and Kowalik in the penalty area. Lammy Robertson, long ball, long shot, went over the goal. It'll be a goal kick coming up for Bobby Rigby with 20 minutes and 40 seconds to play in the match. Chicago won on a goal by Steve Peplow in the first half, and New York won on a Pele goal in the second half. 20 minutes, 30 seconds to play now. Mifflin, Ramon Mifflin with the ball. Chicago in great physical condition. They have been playing super man-to-man defense this entire game, double, triple teaming people, running all over the place, and they're still running.
You know, the score is 1-1. I think it's going to come down to which team is in better condition. And conditioning is such an important factor in soccer. By the way, for our fans watching this game, there's if one of the players get injured or thrown out of the game, I believe there's no substitution. They have to play with 10 men.
Well, if he's thrown out of the game, there'll be no substitution.
That's right. That's right.
There are 3 substitutes allowed in the North American Soccer League. Should a player be injured, or if the coach wanted to take the player out, he can put up to 3 players in the game. But as you said, if he's kicked out for an infraction, then the team has to play. The penalized team must play with 10 players.
Unlike in hockey, when you can come back after a period of time.
All right, Chicago pressure. Header misses. In front, shot, and a Rigby save. The Chicago Sting put the pressure on, and Bobby Rigby was up to it that time with 19:11 to play in the soccer game. Terry Garvin, number 8, across the midfield line. Ramon Mifflin. He has Fields wide outside, but he goes to Clements, who now goes to Fields. Tony Field. Good move. Another good move by Field. Let's see if he can get it in front. He's knocked off the ball. You saw he. And now what are they going to call? They're going to call a foul. Now they're going to call a foul in Chicago. I thought he was fouled before.
Little action from the New York goal. Bob Rigby, great save. He jumped on the ball, and this is exactly what a goalie has to do: tuck the ball in, bring the ball close to his chest, and protect it.
All right, now there was a foul called in the penalty area. However, it is not a penalty kick because this will be an indirect kick, an indirect violation called for obstruction, which means, with this, that the player hitting the ball cannot directly knock it into the net and have it count. It must touch another player before it goes in, either a defensive or an offensive player. Now that number 4 is Clive Griffith, the fine defender with Chicago, who is shaken up on the play. All right, dangerous now. The Cosmos with an indirect kick in the penalty area. Clements, far post, coming in as Eddie. He couldn't get to it, and Chicago will clear it out. Lammy Robertson just boots it out, but he has a man waiting for it outside. That's Peplow, and it's knocked away and out of bounds from him by Tinian of New York. Throw in for Chicago.
Young Miro Reese is very impressive. Number 17, as you said, he's 18 years old. That's how Pele started when he was a young side. I believe he was 16 when he played his
Peplow, a good ball. Here's his shot, hit the side of the net. It shot at the side of the net. Shot taken by Kowalik. Look at the good pass by Peplo to Kowalik, who booms it with his left foot. He can hit it with either foot.
Good positioning by Rigby. He caught the end.
Now here comes New York attacking again. A hard shot is deflected off the foot of Tinian. Kelly playing with it, with Tinian having him in the corner, and now Tinian trying for the intercept but cannot get the ball. Chicago in its own end trying to clear. They do. Bobby Smith goes up in the air. He controls the ball as usual, and he gets a hand for that. Now to Pelé. Pelé coming in the penalty area. He is tripped outside the box. They got him outside the box, so New York's going to have a free kick, and you saw that trip as Pelé went down on that hard infield dirt, and could very well have a strawberry. Very, very good chance.
There's no doubt about it. It was an excessive contact. He was tripped.
Now the referee has called a timeout here on the injury to Pelé. On Friday, May the 7th, Peter Sellers is back on the case as the incomparable Inspector Cloutier when Home Box Office presents the hilarious premiere of The Return of the Pink Panther. That's one. There's one hysterical scene after another as Inspector Cloutier sets out once again to trap the phantom jewel thief who has stolen the priceless diamond known as the Pink Panther. It's the kind of slapstick comedy that only Peter Sellers can create, and it's premiering next week right here on Home Box Office. Don't miss it.
He kicked the ball too high. As we can see it again. There's Tony. Tony's getting the ball. And there he is. Before the ball drops down, he kicks it. And he kicked it over the crossbar.
16 and a half minutes to play in the match, and New York called for a foul there. Dillon fouled up in the air. Now, if we're tied at the end of regulation time, we'll play two 7.5-minute overtime periods. If that doesn't produce a goal, we'll go into penalty kicks. So what we're saying is there's going to be a winner and a loser in this game this afternoon. The penalty kicks will be 5 kicks for each club, and the club that puts in the most penalty kicks will win the match. Bobby Smith lays it down for Clements, being belabored, and now Clements belabors the Chicago Sting, and the foul is going to be called against Clements.
A little hugging action over there. As we get there. I really don't know what you can call that. A little piggyback ride.
It's at the rodeo. Lammy Robertson apparently will take the free kick, but now Benny Alone, number 13, the Chicago midfielder, fine player, being attended to by the Chicago trainer. Benny Alone, who we told you before is an outstanding Israeli first division player from Hakoah, has played very, very well for Chicago. In fact, talking to their owner before the game, he felt that Benny may have been the best player on the field in the first 2 games.
35 yards out, Jim. I have seen a free kick has been scored from that distance.
Not this time,
no,
as
this time.
Shot goes off the mark. I don't really believe that was a shot. I think that Robertson was looking for a forward to move on to the ball from there.
That's
but
correct.
It was too long. All right, New York trying to build an attack. Mifflin with the ball, has it knocked away. He gets it back to Eddie, to Dillon, back to Eddie. New York being forced back, and they get it to Bobby Rigby. A long throw. Look at this throw by Rigby. To Garbutt. Now to Tony Fields.
He wasn't offside.
Tony comes inside. Gets it back again. Tony Fields still with the ball. Finally knocked away, and that time Tony Fields did stay with the ball a little long. There's a battle going on at the 35-yard line, knocked away by Peplo by New York. It'll be a Chicago throw-in, 14:40 to play in the game. Yankee Stadium in New York, the Cosmos home opener. Look at this throw by Rigby. He threw the ball 45 yards, and it almost set up a goal.
And he's an athlete, Alex Karras. Yes, he is a pretty good athlete.
I'll tell you how good he is. He was 4th in the Superstars this year. Of course, another soccer player, Kyle Rowe Jr., won it.
Alex Karras doesn't like kickers for some reason, Jim. And,
Johnny Webb now, defender for the Chicago Sting, bringing it toward the midfield line. Played out to another fullback, Eddie Cliff on the right. Benny alone, bad pass. Cosmos turn it the other way. Tony Field with it. To Garbett. Garbett played to Tinian on the right. Tinian comes into the box. Here's a hard shot. Over the top, and Tinian with a left foot drilled one from 23 yards. And Costin was up to it, and that thing was headed for the corner.
He cuts inside with his left foot. Great save by. Look at it. He hits the ball over the crossbar. Very dangerous shot.
All right, New York has a corner kick coming up. This is Dave Clements. Pele's right in front of the net. But the ball goes long. Eddy pops it high in the air and over the top. Keith Eddy. The corner kick was not really very well taken by Clements. Too far. Not dangerous at all. 1-1 soccer game. 12:57 to play in the match at Yankee Stadium in New York. A tremendous crowd. We'll get you the official attendance as quickly as they get it to us. All right, Chicago coming in. Reese, that dangerous 18-year-old high schooler, putting pressure on Rigby, but Rigby came out to get it first, as you saw. Eddy plays it on the right to Garbett, to the 35-yard line of Chicago. New York attacking. Garbett inside. Tinian. Oh, great defensive play that time by New York. Benny alone that time broke it up. Now Mifflin plays it inside for Pele. Comes around, and they've got Pele for backing into the defender Skodarek. They said Pele backing in. He doesn't believe it. Pele shielding the ball with his body. We'll look at it again.
Yes, definitely Pele is pushing his defender, and he doesn't like the call, but the referee was right this time.
Mifflin steals for New York to the 35-yard line, building up speed to Field. Back to Mifflin, comes inside, and Costin got it before Mifflin could. And again, New York applies the pressure here in a 1-1 soccer game. The attendance, 28,436. That is a new Cosmos home attendance record. 28,436 here at Yankee Stadium this afternoon to watch the Cosmos open their 76th season at home. And they've seen a terrific game. No doubt about that.
You see a lot of youngsters in the stands, Jim. More and more kids are playing this game.
Garbett playing it now in the middle of the field for the Cosmos, number 8 to Mifflin, 15. Back to Garbett if he can get to it. But New York has it knocked away. But Pele gets it back beautifully to Garbett. He plays it back to Clements. New York in control. Long ball here for Tinian. Goes up in the air. No whistle there, no foul. Fields has it. To Mifflin. New York at the 35-yard line. A ball in the box for Pele, headed away from him by Skodarek. And now back to Costin. What a job that must be for a defender to have to guard Pele 12 yards from the goal with his back to the goal and have to just be afraid that any second he's going to dribble by you or put it between your legs and knock it in the back of the neck. But Skodarek, for the most part, has been up to it today. Here's Kelly, little Jimmy Kelly from Manchester United in England. There's a long ball. He's got a man on the right. And the ball punched out of there and finally knocked away. Here's another shot that goes high. And Chicago applies the pressure. Garbett trying to get out of there. And here come the Cosmos racing on the attack. Mifflin. Here's a man breaking through. A shot just past the post. Tinian just past the post.
What a great attack. Jim, I'll tell you, this happened about 12 seconds from one side of the field to the other. Completely a dangerous play.
Will now argue with you that soccer is not an exciting game. And a whistle blows, and we're going to have a call against Chicago. We're going to have again, one of the Chicago defenders pushing down there underneath that long ball. Here come the Cosmos. Keeping the ball in midfield now. There's a long pass for Tinian. They get over the top of him, but again, it's controlled by Fields to Pele. Nice ball to Fields. Here's a shot that deflects off Clive Griffiths of Chicago over the goal line. So the defense, the last to touch the ball, and we have a corner kick coming up for the offensive team. Tony Field, a very, very exciting little player. see who takes this. It's going to be Clemens again with 8:54 to play in the game. 8:54 to play in the game. Let's see what Clemens can do with it.
He's kicking with his left leg, left foot. Oops.
Bad corner kick.
Sometimes it's a curve. Have you ever seen a corner kick going to the net?
I saw Pelé do it in Baltimore in 1974. Kicked it off from the right corner. He just curled it around. The goalkeeper came out to catch it and curled right around him into the net.
But that guy can't do everything.
If he does it here today, especially under these circumstances, as Rigby comes out to make a save before Kowalik could boot it by him, if he does it here today, this place will fall apart after they spend $100 million to build it up. Here's a long ball up here to Garbett. Good ball. New York attacking. 2 men on Garbett, and it's tackled over the goal line. So again, a corner kick coming up for the Cosmos. 8 minutes and 4 seconds unofficially to play in the game. We say unofficially because the official on the field has the time. But that's pretty close. Mifflin, Ramon Mifflin with a corner kick. Comes out front. Play, tries a header, but Skodarek got his head to it first. There's a shot by Clemens. It's deflected. And now here's Smith and Kowalik having their thing, and Smith tackled it away. And now you see a foul called on number 3, Johnny Webb. That's an obvious foul. You can't play the man in this game. You have to play the ball. If you're going after the man and not going after the ball, you'll be called for a foul every single time. And that was a classic example of it. Clements now. Pelé back heels it toward field, but it's cleared out. Here's Smith. And they're going to call what? They're going to call Kowalik for getting under Smith and submarining him. That's the only way that Kowalik is going to beat Smith in the air, is to try to get underneath him. And he did it, and they called it. Now in for Tinian. And another whistle blows, and they've got another foul called on Chicago. It's going to be indirect kick in the penalty area. Clock running with 6:43 to play. And again, this is precisely why, well, they say it's outside the area. There's the wall. They say it's just outside the area. You see the wall.
Take a look at the goalie. Look at the goalie. He's giving directions up. The wall effectively blocking the target area. That's what the goalie wants. And the goalie's going to cover the other side of the goal.
Pelé has scored a lot of goals from this position with that free kick outside the area. Now anyone at 3-man can take it. Fields run by. Now they get it to Pelé. Here's the pass inside, and the header goes wide. They had Garbett and Dillon. And Dillon may have hurt himself. Dillon may have hurt himself attempting to head the ball.
Jim, in these free kicks, really the element is the surprise in there. You saw 3 guys try to take the kick, and the last second it was decided who's going to kick it, and that's why it's so exciting. The free kick just outside of the penalty area.
Crossed in a kick. Keith Eddy heads it back again. Tinian going up in the air, but again Chicago wins it in the air, but New York has it again with Pelé. Pelé will get the ball. He has an open man. He finds him. Tony Field. Field being marked closely at the 35-yard line, as you see. Get it to Clemens. Dave Clement plays out here for Garbett. New York's midfield has really gotten into the attack in the second half. As Pete Gogolak said, they were sluggish in the first half, but they've been all over the place in the second. And New York has controlled the game. Clements for Ramon Mifflin. Mifflin coming through now on the left. Plays it outside for Garbett. Garbett looking to cross. There's a long ball. Pelé will head the ball over for Tony Field. Now he leaves it for the shot from Clement. A right-footed shot that didn't have much on it, was deflected. Now Field coming in. Here's his shot, deflected again, and knocked out of there by Skodarek, who's played a sensational game. Bobby Smith wins again in the air for New York. Scramble for the ball. They're going to have a foul called against Clements this time. Clements running into Miro Reese of Chicago, and we have a free kick coming for Chicago.
Here's the fall again. You cannot run into your opponent. You can charge with your shoulder. It's strictly a pushing penalty, and it's a free kick.
New York intercepts again. Fields back to Mifflin. Back to Fields coming through, and a shot goes over the top. And let's see who hit it last. Was that hit by Fields or the defender Skodarek? Gordon Hill, the official, over there to ask Fields how he is. If that ball had been hit by Skodarek, we'd have had a corner kick, but he said it was Fields that hit it last. Good play by Skodarek to get a foot on that ball because Fields had a shot on the way, and it was deflected well enough offline by the good defensive play. 3:43 to play in the game. 1-1, Chicago and New York here at Yankee Stadium in front of more than 28,000. All right, here's Cliff for Chicago to the 35-yard line. New York goes on the defensive now with 3.5 minutes to go in the game. Good move. Here's a shot, and it's tipped over the bar beautifully by Bobby Rigby. A dangerous cross that time by the Rangers player, Steve Peplow, who has scored Chicago's only goal. Watch it.
Great save by Bob Rigby. He goes up and he punches the ball over the crossbar. It was too dangerous to catch, so he decided to play it safe, and he tipped the ball over the crossbar. Bob Rigby is a fine athlete.
Kowalik now with a corner kick. Low drive to the near post is a bad corner kick. Went out of bounds. It'll be a goal kick coming up for Bobby Rigby. Time remaining 2:44 unofficially. Game is tied. If it stays tied at the end of regulation, we'll go into 2 7.5-minute overtime. Sudden death overtime. Broken up by Chicago. This is Lammy Robertson, who gets away from a tackle by Bobby Smith. Lammy Robertson plays it on the right for Peplow. This is dangerous. Shot is knocked out of there nicely by New York.
Great interception by the defender. This is what he had to do, and you know, when you're in the penalty area, nice little push pass. He shoots. Boy, Bob Rigby was ready to catch that ball.
All right, New York with the ball. Tinian plays it for Garbutt. He plays it wide for Bobby Smith. Bobby Smith, a long ball up the field here for Tony Field if he can get to it. Tony racing for it, but Clive Griffiths got to it first. Well, here most of these players have now run for like 88 minutes, and you still see Field and Griffiths racing at full steam for the ball. It just shows you what kind of physical condition you have to be in to play this game.
I know basketball players run about 5 to 7 miles a game. My gym, I wonder how long football players must be at least 15.
Alex Karras didn't run 5 miles in his entire career. Minute 24 to play in the match. 1-1 game. The Cosmos in Chicago here in sunny New York. They didn't think this game would be played because of the poor weather, but it came up sunshine this morning. Mifflin plays it for Tinian. There's a shot deflected and caught by Costin. Tinian had trouble there coming over that pitcher's mound. It kind of threw him off stride. A minute to play in the match. Boy, there's been a lot of great passes in this game, great shots, good defensive play. It's had everything. A goal for each side, too. Peplow's pass is a good one. And Chicago goes on the attack with Kelly with 42 seconds. Back to Peplow, the Chicago goal scorer. Back to Kelly. And now on the left now to the racing fullback. Goes toward the line. That's Johnny Webb. Long cross is too long. And it'll be New York's ball with 27 seconds. And it's crowd of 28,000 now. Hoping against hope that New York can do something with this last ball. 19 seconds if they can get it upfield. Rigby winds up and fires it for Pele with 13 seconds, but Skodarek heads it away. 8 seconds on the clock. 6, 5, 4. Again, it's not official. 2, 1. Here comes Pele. Knocked away. Again, now New York comes to get the ball. Knocked away again. Dave Clements, good move. And that is the end of regulation time in New York, and we're going to overtime. The Cosmos and the Chicago Sting tied at 1-1. And we're going to give the players about 5 minutes of rest here, Pete Gogolak, and this player can use it. But he's the reason we're in overtime as far as the Cosmos are concerned. All right, let's take a look at what I thought was the save of the game. Here's Mifflin, number 15. Lays it inside. And Tinian now. Now watch it. He hit that pitcher's mound. Took the shot, and great save by Costin with his left hand as that ball was going in.
Changed directions too, and he was ready for it. Terrific reflex move.
Let's take one more look at it because that's the reason we're all still.
Nice breakup by the defender.
Actually, Pete, you know what it was? The ball hitting the top of the pitcher's mound made it change direction, and that's why the ball was moving. It was almost a screwball, and that's why Costin had some trouble with it, but it's a good thing he has good hand-eye coordination, or this game would have been over.
Gee, what I hear, players like the AstroTurf surface, soccer players, unlike in football, players do complain about the AstroTurf, but I think in soccer, the AstroTurf, it helps the game of soccer. And
Pete, let me disagree with you a second. The players don't like it, really. That's the reason that the football players don't like it, because, first of all, there's too many injuries on it, and the ball also bounces too high. They can't keep it under control. Now, the ball that gives them a true bounce, but it's too high.
7.5-minute period. A flip of the coin will decide which team will kick off. The first team to score a goal, either from the field or by penalty kick, shall be the winner. Thank you.
That was a pretty good explanation of overtime in the North American Soccer League by Yankee Stadium public address announcer, Cosmo public address announcer Bob Shepard. And there's a shot of the refurbished Yankee Stadium, and the Cosmos trying to refurbish themselves as they take a little breather here and get ready to play overtime. We'll have a flip of the coin, as you heard, to see which team defends what goal.
In soccer, there's no time to go into the locker room and change or take a shower. Boy, you stay right there and you have to keep going.
You know, Pete, it's really unusual, but, you know, playing over the infield part is not conducive to the striker, really, right? Because he's dribbling the ball, he's on grass, and then he's on dirt. But isn't it ironic that both goals today were scored on the infield part of the field? Chicago in the first half, knocking in their goal from just behind the pitcher's mound, and of course a great Pelé goal 61 minutes in. Well, it's going to be interesting to see who's going to defend what goal in this overtime. Big week coming up for sports at home box office this Tuesday. It's the Islanders versus the Canadiens in Game 4 of their Stanley Cup semifinal series. Wednesday, May the 5th, it's the premiere of World Team Tennis on home box office. Chris Everett leads Phoenix against Indiana, live from Salt Lake City, Utah. Thursday, it's back to the Nassau Coliseum for Game 3 of that big ABA championship, the New York Nets versus the Denver Nuggets. Keep tuned in to Home Box Office channel for preemption information. All right, 7.5-minute overtime. The first one is underway. Now, this is sudden death. As soon as somebody scores, it's all over. They don't play any more time. All right, here comes Mifflin now. Leads it for Pelé. But Skoderek is there as he's been the entire match. And a whistle blows. And I believe they had Pelé offside, I'm not sure.
Jim, now you're playing for money. There's no question about it. The first team that scores going to win this game, and they're getting a little tense, I think. Sudden death is, especially for a young player, not an easy thing to cope with.
Especially 18-year-old Murrow Reese,
that's right,
number 17. There's a long ball in the penalty area, and again, the New York defense knocks it down, but there's Murrow Reese knocked away by Clements. Reese still has it. Reese comes in. Here's a shot wide. I'll tell you something about Reese. He is fast. He's very, very quick. And he's got good balance. They try to push him off the ball. There's Ken Furphy. And Ken Furphy, concerned along with General Manager Gordon Bradley there, they called a foul against New York outside the penalty area. You have your wall set up, and the official Gordon Hill telling them to move back. They've got to give him 10 yards. Peplow, number 7, is there. Lammy Robinson with no number on his back is right next to him.
Again, you see 3 kickers there. There's going to be somebody's going to be a decoy. One of them going to jump over. Other one kicks.
And Lammy Robertson tried to chip it over Rigby's head into the net, and he just missed it. Hit it over the top of the bar.
Jim, they make it look so easy. He didn't kick it hard. He just tried to place the ball, and it was a little bit too high.
All right, Chicago with Kowalik now coming in the penalty area. Watch him. He's dangerous. And that ball tackled over the goal line by Smith, Bobby Smith. And we're going to have a corner kick coming up for Chicago. So Chicago has a corner kick. Jimmy Kelly will hit the corner.
Corner kick.
Good corner kick. Rigby goes down. The ball is headed out to the head of the penalty area. Here's a shot, and Rigby got up to pick it up and fires it to Pelé at the 35-yard line. Pelé has it knocked away, but New York picks it off again with Ramon Mifflin. Mifflin chips it up here for Tinian coming in. Check it, that's not Tinian, that's George Siega, who's come into the game. George Siega, who's into the game now for New York. And they call Siega for being offside. Siega was offside. Siega, the only original Cosmo left. In fact, he was the first Cosmo signed in 1971 by Clive Toy. George Siega, outstanding player. Chicago now moving on the attack. Skuderick, their center back, looks to get rid of it. Gets it back to his fullback. Some of the fans booing. They want to see New York, or at least Chicago, move it on the attack, not move it backwards. But Chicago's played a very disciplined, good game here today against a great New York team, and they've got a 1-1 tie playing it their way. Here comes Mifflin. He gets it to Pelé. Pelé is tripped, and they're going to call a foul. He had his legs chopped out from under him. Let's look at that foul again. There's Mifflin coming through that. He lays it to Pelé. He was going to lay it off. And then you saw Johnny Webb, number 3, come in and cut him down.
Intentional tripping. I would guess, Jim, that Pelé is going to take a shot from there. I would say it's a good 25 yards out, and he'll go take a chance, and he's going to score from that distance.
All right, we'll see what happens. Clock running, 3:07. Ball chipped in to Mifflin. Now here's a shot on goal.
I guess I was wrong.
Shot was taken by Dillon, the defender, who comes into the penalty area on corner kicks and shots outside the penalty area. Number 1, because he's good in the air.
That's why these free kicks are so great, because they're so unexpected.
Siega plays it back for Garbutt. Get it back to George Siega. George Siega to Mifflin. His pass are all bunched up now, and Chicago retains the ball. This is Benny Alone, and Mifflin stays with Benny Alone, and it's going to be given to Chicago on a throw-in. They throw it into Costin, the goalkeeper. Some of the fans thought that Benny Alone hit it out last. Mifflin was trying to get it from the official, but he wouldn't buy it. I think Mifflin did hit it out. 2:12 to play in the first overtime period. New York has controlled this game the entire second half. Skuderick now, and Pelé knocked it away from behind. And here comes Mifflin attacking. Mifflin looking for a man coming through. Here's off the foot of Clemens coming through. He couldn't control it on that infield. The ball bounced over his foot.
Great save by the goalie, Jim. Dangerous play. He came right out. He charged the oncoming forward and broke up the play.
All right, now watch Clemens now. A great pass by Mifflin. Now watch the ball bounce up. And, of course, a good save by Costin as well. Here's Siega now outside the penalty area. George Siega. His shot is deflected. Siega was taking the shot all the way. Pelé was looking for a pass, and then he wanted Siega to move inside for a return, but Siega tried to left-foot it from about 18 yards.
Some of these defenders got black and blue marks all over them because they really throw their bodies from the shot, and that's the only way you can stop it. Nice play again.
All right, Mifflin now with 55 seconds to play the first overtime. The ball now coming for Pelé, but Skodarek is there. Ball high in the air. Headed down by Chicago, but controlled by Tinian. Tinian plays it on the right for Mifflin again with 39 seconds. Mifflin chips it toward the area, but Skodarek heads it off the head of Kelly. It comes out again. And again, New York has it with 33 seconds. Ramon Mifflin high in the air toward the head of the penalty area. Clemens trying to control it. He's fought off the ball by Lammy Robinson. And now again to Mifflin on this left side. See if he can save it. He can't. 18 seconds to play in the first overtime. We have another 7.5-minute overtime coming up if we need it here. They'll change sides of the field for the second 7.5 minutes. Clements, check it, Garbett. And now that is the end of the first overtime. We have 7.5 minutes of overtime to play yet, and if we don't have a goal in that time period, we'll go to penalty kicks. We change sides of the field now. Rigby's got a 110-yard jaunt across the field, as does his counterpart, Costin.
He's the only one running. Bob Rigby's the only one running. You have to be playing for 97 minutes. Believe me, you get a little tired, but Bob Rigby is running in pretty good shape.
Well, if you haven't yet seen it, or would like to see it again, the glamour and excitement of Las Vegas will fill your living room on Thursday, May the 6th, when Home Box Office presents The Folies Bergère, direct from the world-famous Tropicana Hotel. Best known for their spectacular costumes and sets, and for their tastefully presented nudity, The Folies Bergère is a stage presentation so big, and so beautiful, and so thoroughly entertaining, as is this soccer game. And again, New York moves on the attack and has it kicked over the sideline. A throw in for the Cosmos in Chicago zone. A long cross in front, headed away from Pelé by Clive Griffiths. Cosmos trying to control the ball here, and they will with George Siega. Siega pulled down, still has it. Siega gets it back now for Clements. Long ball to the far post, nobody there. And kicked away by Chicago over the sideline. Again, New York controls the ball. 6:40 to play in overtime. Eddie to Mifflin. He's played a superior game. Ramon Mifflin comes to the penalty area and has it tackled away by a strong Chicago defense. Keith Eddy, they're moving everybody on the attack. Ball knocked down inadvertently by a Chicago defender. Kicked out of bounds by New York. It'll be Chicago's throw-in. What a game. Both clubs have gone for 97, 98 and a half minutes. We've had 2 goals and 2 good goals. One by Pelé and one by Steve Peplow of Chicago. And that's an illegal throw-in.
You have to keep both of your feet on the ground and throw the ball overhead, and the other team gets a shot, takes a throw in.
All right, New York controls. Here's Mifflin. To Keith Eddy, number 5. Plays it outside the penalty area on the left. Tinian, the new man, being ridden off the ball and knocked over the sideline. It will be given to Chicago, I believe. Chicago gets it. Now, what you can do in this game is you can shoulder charge. In other words, you can run up alongside a man and hit him with your shoulder. But again, you can't be playing the man instead of the ball. Punched out by Costin. There's a long ball to the other side now. New York keeping the pressure on. This is Garbett, number 8. Garbett being forced out. Look at that tenacious Chicago defense with 4:55. Mifflin plays it for Pelé, and the ball headed back to Costin. Mervyn Costin.
Cosmos are pressing, Jim. All the play seems to be on their side of the field. And how much time we have left? I guess
4 minutes and 40 seconds to play in overtime. Peplow. Tackled by Eddie, and they're going to call a foul on, check it, it's Rowan. Rowan tackling Eddie. And they're going to call a foul, I believe, on Rowan. Foul on Rowan, there he is. Free kick coming up for Chicago. They have Miro Reese, the 18-year-older, in that penalty area, along with Benny Alone. Keith Eddie knocked it away. Kowalik has it with Eddie. And they're going to call what? They're going to call New York ball. Goal kick. They say it was last touched by Kowalik. John Kowalik. There's Rigby with the ball now with 3:49 to play in the match. To Eddie. Here comes Rowan, the fullback. To the midfield line. Played to Ramon Mifflin, the architect in the middle of the park. And now to Dave Clements. He plays it on the right for Garbutt. Garbutt, 23 yards away, pumps it in front. Costin made the catch. And quickly throws it out to get Chicago on the offense to the 35-yard line. The long ball is going to be knocked down momentarily, and we have a one-on-one situation coming here. There's a shot and a goal! And that is the game. And again, the man that scored the goal, Steve Peplow, who scored the first goal of the match, who scores the first and the second.
Look at the replay
Watch
again.
Peplow now, and watch the defender fall down.
He's all open, takes a shot.
He had fallen down before
Fallen
that.
down before that. Keith Eddy, who is really the best defender the Cosmos have, and he's walking down dejected there on the field. He couldn't control the ball. The ball sneaked under his feet, and Peplow came in and he shot the ball into the open net. Let's take one more look at it. We can see a little more.
Let's see if we can see that defender falling down. There, he was back there.
Back there. It's really one-on-one now, Jim. He and the goalie, and it's very hard to defend. And he just passed it right past the goalie into the left corner of the goal.
So
Great
Steve
play by
Peplow,
Chicago. Great
that's
play.
the last goal of this game. And Peplow, there's the scoreboard. Chicago wins a hard-fought 2-1 game. Chicago now with 2 wins and 1 loss. The Cosmos 1 win and 1 defeat. Well-played game, I think you have to admit. New York applied most of the pressure in this game, but they count on goals. And Chicago's defense is what kept them in for the longest time, and then, of course, Peplow won it for them. We hope you've enjoyed today's NASL action here on Home Box Office. In the coming months, we'll continue coverage of the North American Soccer League. There's more playoff action coming your way Tuesday, May the 4th, from the Nassau Coliseum. The New York Islanders versus the Montreal Canadiens in the semifinal round of the Stanley Cup. Right now, stay tuned for The Voyage at 7:30 Eastern, 6:30 Central. Today's game was produced and directed by Marty Calder, associate producer Steve Hewitt, and Tim Brain, associate director Bill Connell. The executive producer for Home Box Office Sports is Brad Schreiber. For Pete Kogelak, this is Jim Carvelis saying so long from Yankee Stadium with the final score in overtime, Chicago Sting 2, New York Cosmos 1. The preceding has been an HBO Sports exclusive.